What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. I hope you guys had an amazing opening weekend for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. The numbers via the box office indicate that a lot of Marvel fans made the time to go and see it, and those of you who have already reached out or messaged me seem to really love the film. I did as well. One of the reasons why it reminded me in a lot of ways of another huge fan favorite in Avengers Infinity War. So many brand new ideas, new dialogue, concepts, and of course characters all introduced without any immediate explainers is really a YouTuber's dream. And I'm sure that this film a year or two from now will still be spawning brand new Easter eggs, brand new theory videos, as it should. In the meantime, we have to talk about that scene that introduced Inhumans, X-Men, and the Fantastic Four, again not explained as to where our counterparts are in the MCU, and didn't give any explainers as to which versions these are or if we've seen them before. Alas, there was one Easter egg that I only caught on my third viewing, tucked in between the two post-credit scenes in the credits, that does indeed indicate and confirm exactly which Professor X this is and when we'll see him again. We're breaking this all down, this brand new Easter egg for the X-Men, how they may be introduced into the future of the MCU, and confirming which version of Professor X this was that we saw on screen during Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do, everything from official Easter eggs and breakdowns like we're doing today to the occasional insider scoop and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That'll automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway, which we are right around the corner from. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So to be fair, and a lot of the stuff we covered before Doctor Strange actually came out, I think there were some purposeful misleads on behalf of Marvel Studios to leave the open-ended nature of the variants we saw in Doctor Strange, and in some cases outright, actors like Benedict Cumberbatch said that these were not the versions that we saw during What If, that indeed Captain Carter, the Sinister Strange, they were different iterations amongst an infinite multiverse, which makes sense that some of them would look alike, as I pointed out in Loki. While there were ridiculous versions of Loki, like an older classic Loki or an alligator, one of the versions they showed us during that crazy episode, which was the penultimate, the second to last, showed a Loki that looked exactly like our Tom Hiddleston. So it does happen that across the multiverse, some of your versions are exactly the same, and on a bell curve, and according to string theory, that's actually the case in real science. Don't worry, the best of you out there living some rock star lifestyle is actually the least common on a bell curve. You're getting the life right now in the multiverse that most yous got. But as I mentioned in the prologue, and as is the case here, you're not going to give us a version of an Illuminati, give us some details about them, and not have us try to wonder which versions those were if we'll ever see them again, especially in the case of Professor X, who showed up in his very famous olive suit, the black and blue striped tie, and the gold hover chair that we saw during the cartoons. Now, one quick side thing I want to point out, a visual Easter egg for the X-Men, the only mention of them really and what Marvel did in this scene. They were able to sidestep saying anything about Xavier Institute for Youngsters, mutants, X-Men by having Professor X enter later after Baron Mordo's official introduction. Therefore, you didn't get any titles, and I'm sure they did this on purpose so that they didn't have to talk about that stuff. But the one little cue they gave for the X-Men is actually the back of Professor X's chair. You can see there in the cushion design, those two yellow stripes come down, presumably meeting halfway down the backboard, meaning the back of his chair there is an actual X. And I thought that was cool. It's at least woven a little bit into his chair where it maybe didn't have to be a very, very slight Easter egg for the X-Men. But the Easter egg which I made this video for, which points to exactly which Professor X this is, a lot of people pointed out that when these Illuminati members were introduced, and as I noticed immediately, they played the themes that go with the characters. As far as Professor X, he got his theme from the cartoon, Peggy Carter got the first Avenger theme, and so on. However, in the credits, when they get to the part that credits all of the music for the soundtrack, which is usually towards the end of the credits, the official track listing for Professor X's introduction is actually X-Men 97, which is the announced but unreleased reboot in works in animation over at Marvel Studios right now, which picks up where the original animated series for the 90s left off in that same year. Meaning, this X-Men 97 theme that they're introducing means this is not only the counterpart for the cartoon, but the Professor X that we're going to pick up with when they finally introduce the animated series sometime next year or the year after. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if What If is any indication of what Marvel Studios plans on doing with their animated studios, then their ambition is extremely high. So at least we'll know we'll follow this character, eventually leading to this 838 Illuminati. And again, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I wonder if they don't plan on canonizing that animated universe as the 838, which would leave the door open for two things. First of which, to see characters like that John Krasinski Fantastic Four in a voice-over capacity for John Krasinski to continue to play that role, all of these characters really, beyond their absolute deaths at the hand of Wanda, and really contemplating whether or not John Krasinski is going to come back and play our 616 Fantastic Four Reed Richards is a theory for a different video, and we'll definitely weigh in on that when the time comes. But it opens the door for any of these characters to link up along with this Professor X along the way. Patrick Stewart has already said that he's open to playing the character again if need be in a multiversal capacity, and a lot of the original voiceover actors who played the cartoon characters are going to do it again. So I don't think that it'll be Patrick Stewart Professor X doing the voiceover hit for him. What I'm saying is that along the way, their cartoon universe can now encapsulate some of these characters, maybe leading up to the formation of this Illuminati. And on top of the obviously now open door for any of these characters alongside this version of Professor X to eventually cross back over into the live action MCU, like we can see now in Doctor Strange 2, there's at least one other crossover point that seems like a no-brainer, considering the next season of What If is also set to have Captain Peggy Carter as another prominent character. Again, we know she'll play an arc throughout the season, and if she shows up on this Illuminati, we have an animated universe in X-Men 97 now that's going to show that Professor X in animated form. They already went ahead and introduced the idea of incursions during this film, which for any Marvel fan who's read comics in the last 20 years, incursions are a major deal and a major player in the Marvel universe. It's all in play now in the MCU, and I'm going to go ahead and get completely ahead of myself, and this is purely speculation, but oh, what a cool world it would be to see a crossover between the What If animated series, Peggy Carter, those characters, the X-Men 97 animated universe battling the version of Kang that they have to battle in the animated world, as we have to battle our Kang, because truly the multiverse is breaking across all planes. So you'd have that playing out there while you have the multiversal saga against our Kangs playing out here simultaneously. Think that's crazy? I don't. I actually think that's where they may go with this, and while that is a wild theory, and if you had told myself even 5 or 6 years ago that's where we'd be, Marvel Studios has all the pieces, all the money, and all the vision. So hey, let's keep our fingers crossed that it's something like that down the road. What I will say, if you're curious as to when X-Men 97 is going to show back up on Disney Plus, the original interview with some of the actors revealed last year, they were hoping to launch by 2023, which would be next year. But as I've said a couple of times at the channel, I had a chance to interview the head writer and director on the original What If series. That interview is still up, and one of the interesting things AC Bradley said about animation is that it is a medium of patience, and that they had been working on What If Season 1 since 2018. So while they did say they'd love to launch in 2023, animated series take a lot longer than you think, in some cases longer than movies, especially considering all of the parts with that. And so I would not expect seeing that before 2024. I think that's reasonable if they started production this year. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below about the continuity, in your opinion, crossing over into animated universe the way that this is. And if you want to see the future of the X-Men in the MCU, there's a huge mutant anomaly we've got to address. I've got a video coming on that this week. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I took a breath as you guys were going to see it. I drafted up a ton of theory videos. I think this film is the tipping off point for Marvel Phase 5. I think the multiversal saga that's about to come with Kang gives Marvel Studios an opportunity to do the things they haven't done before, which is what they're obviously trying to do with all these different multi-genre films, doing a horror. They did a kung fu film with Shang-Chi last year, the animated universe. They want to branch out and do new stuff. A real multiversal saga that actually does it on a multiversal scale is going to be really cool to see. I can't wait. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below. Quickly, let's jump into the giveaway stuff. I kind of got to do another PSA at the channel about this. We've been combating it for 2 months. There are WhatsApp scammers on my channel. They've hit some of my friends' channels, especially in this genre. So not only my channel, but be vigilant about this. If you get a comment on one of your comments that looks like it's from an account that says a WhatsApp and a phone number, and it says contact me, you've won a game console, or they'll say you've won a Sony game, that is a scammer. They try to ask you for money on shipping on WhatsApp. So let me just get this out of the way, guys. I only announce winners in videos, and then I contact you via either email or your Instagram, and then I confirm you through a system that I have. I do not announce winners or reach out via comments. I do not reach out to you on WhatsApp, and I never ask for a single dollar in shipping. No prize winners have ever paid for shipping ever here at the channel. So please be vigilant. If you see those comments, report them, not just on my channel. If you see those comments on other channels, and I know it's happening to other people here in the comic book movie universe, please report them as well. YouTube knows. I've talked to them about it. They're well aware it's happening. They are actively trying to combat it, but there's so much you can do. One of the ways that I'm combating it is I have a lot of keywords blocked. You can't write Sony in a comment right now or your comment will get held because people are trying to scam off that word for games. Yeah, it's where we're living right now. That's the world it is. So if you see those comments, please crush them. Also, guys, please be smart. Do not give anybody money who's reaching out to you on WhatsApp. If they use my picture in their thing, but their account says WhatsApp and a phone number, it's a scammer. Please be smart. Be vigilant out there. Also, if you want to be entered the giveaway, the real way is just leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning, and I announce all winners in videos. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me over on Instagram and Twitter at @I'mFires. You can find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes under the name All Fires with original music. Well, I sincerely appreciate you checking that out. Thanks for checking this channel out. We have a ton of theory videos coming this week. Hope you guys really enjoyed Doctor Strange. I also have a new top 10 ranking coming out tomorrow for Marvel films if you guys care about that. So, all right, love you. Peace.